Welcome to Lifestyle Solopreneur, the community for entrepreneurs who put lifestyle first. Join your host, Flavia Barris, as she interviews successful lifestyle solopreneurs and shares ideas to help you find the perfect balance between lifestyle, business, and self. Flavia is an attorney, marketing expert, and founder of several online academies. She's been featured in major media, including BBC World News, The Wall Street Journal, The New York Post, ESPN Television, and more. Join us for this episode of Lifestyle Solopreneur. Hey, Lifestyle Solopreneurs. Today we get to speak with Karen Grosz. She is known as the Monday Videos Lady for her energetic welcome to the week. Karen is a 5-time author, both an award-winning and TEDx speaker, founder of Canvas Creek Team Building, and recipient of the Montana Governor's Award for Volunteerism. Her mission is to inspire others to be their best, to try the next thing, and to know they are worth every effort it takes to live their next. Welcome to the show, Karen.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk to you today. Thank you.
I am so excited too. And you know what? You are a vibe. You have energy. You have this like authenticity to you. You're just a wonderful person to connect with and speak to. I'm just curious because, what you do is unique. So tell us how you got to this point in life and what led you here.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to I'll abbreviate the story for you, but I had a teacher in high school who told me I was too stupid to go to college. And I believed her, so I didn't. So I went off on this whole list of things to prove I wasn't stupid, ran away with a cute boy who I'm still married to 43 years later. But I was so shy, I couldn't talk to 3 people at once. And so the person today, this person with energy and excitement about life, was an absolute intentional journey of becoming who I am. And it's been quite a walk.
Tell us a little bit about that journey then, because today, clearly, you're talking to more than 3 people at a time on many occasions. You're like leading teams. So tell us a little bit about what it is that you do today and how you were led there.
Yeah. So I wanted to always do the next hardest thing. And I don't think I wanted to do that at first. It was my husband and the people around me who said, you can be more and you can do more. And so I kept challenging myself to do the next hardest thing, learn to speak in public. I was elected PTA president because I went to my first PTA meeting and they needed a new president. And I was like, oh, that would be great. And my father-in-law said, that'll be terrible. You have to speak in front of people. So he sent me to Toastmasters. And at Toastmasters, I was crying at the podium and 2 men in 3-piece suits. This is years and years ago. They each put a hand on my shoulder. And one of them whispered in my ear, you can do this. And so to this day, it doesn't matter if I'm speaking to 200 people in a room or 10,000 people in a room, I still feel that touch and I still hear that voice of them saying, you can do this. And I carry that with me and I try to pass it on to other people. And so you can do this paired with just always trying the next hardest thing and looking for people who could help make me bigger and better. It's given me just such an exciting life. And now I do team building and speaking, and I'm a 6-time author. My 6th book will be out later this month.
Oh, I love it. And I'm a huge fan of helping people write a book. I love encouraging people to take that knowledge that's in their head, in their soul, put it into a book so other people can experience it. You're known as the Monday Videos Lady. So what are these Monday videos? What's that all about?
So I'm a little bit enthusiastic, as you've noticed. And people are always like, oh, it's Monday. I don't want to go to work. And when I became an entrepreneur, I realized that I was living such an incredible dream. And if people would just look for the best in the world, that their life would be more exciting. And so I put out a minute to a minute and a half video every Monday that is some kind of a little story, something that's happened in my life or something I'm thinking about. But it starts with Happy Monday and some jumping, and it ends with I'm so glad there's you. And the funny thing, Flavia, is that we have friends who will call us, especially the grumpy old men, who will call us and say, that's enough with the jumping and with the happiness. Just tone it down. And I'm like, stop watching.
You're like, if you don't want happiness and energy, this is not for you. I love it. Oh, that is too funny. So what's the team building that you founded Canvas Creek Team Building? Tell us about it a little bit.
Yeah, so thank you. There's nobody in San Diego or in New York who is saying, we should have a little gray-haired lady from Montana come and do team building for our team. And so the Monday videos is that introduction to my energy and my take on the world. And then you get drawn into Canvas Creek team building, which really is my baby. It's everything that I did in my whole life come full circle. With Canvas Creek, we have a team of people create art together. We've worked with teams of 4 people to 1,400 people. And there are 4 people on a canvas who have a role, but not instructions. And those 4 people have to figure out how to create a 48-inch painting together. And they have to do it in complete silence. And it's such an amazing process. It's very quiet for a while, and then it's full of laughter and grunting and pushing and pointing. And at the end, the really cool thing is that people are so excited about their art, no matter how ugly it is. They're excited about their art, and they're even more excited about their team because they've gone through this really visceral, powerful experience together, and they come out the other side as a stronger team. It's incredible.
That is, and what do they do with the art afterwards? Who takes it home? How does it get displayed? What's the norm here?
Great question. So I say that we're a team building experience because no team is the same after they've gone through our process. And they take the art back to the office with them and they hang it up on the walls as a reminder of what they learned about one another, what they promised one another, what they can do when they all focus in on a project and try to complete it together. And you'll often see teams standing in front of this art and they'll tip their head to the left and they'll tip it to the right and they'll poke one another and they'll talk about it years later. People are still talking about it.
Oh, I bet. No, I'm not surprised to hear that at all. So, on the TEDx stage, what was your topic when you gave your TED presentation?
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. I did innovative team building because I thought innovative would be the really searchable word, but that's what we do, innovative team building. And I got to talk about the process.
And so, the Montana governor at some point got you on the radar and you won the governor's award for volunteerism. What's involved with that? Is it a committee that finds you or do you apply? How does that work?
So I think as a solopreneur, you have to be really aware of who you're surrounding yourself with. And I had this amazing person who found me as a client, hired me to work with her team, and which was Head Start. And then one day she called, said, "Do you know what's going on with child welfare in our city?" And I said, "Not really." And she told me all about it. And we started a project called I'll Help, where people like you and I go on this web page, and families who have adopted children or have foster children can say, "I need diapers, I need formula." And you and I can say, "I'll help with that." So in Billings, we have this community now that's run by other people, but it's 9,000 members who do this work together, just emergent needs. And my friends pointed this out to the governor. And yeah, I was privileged to go to the governor's mansion for lunch and be awarded for taking care of my community. And I spend as much time taking care of my community as I do my business, which isn't a good idea, but it's where my heart is.
I think it makes perfect business sense. So I vote yes. Keep doing what you're doing. It's so amazing, everything that you're providing for the community where you live. I love this. So you've written not just one, not just two, you've like a whole bookshelf worth of books. So tell us some of those titles and maybe just like a brief synopsis of what each book's about.
So the first book was called What's Your Name? Because I was so good at remembering names. And I think everybody should write a book just like you. I absolutely echo that. I sold 10 of that book. And the really anything about that book is as soon as I published it, I was no good at remembering names anymore because I think pride's a sin and that just got whipped out of there. But I learned that I have something to say. There are people who want to listen. And so I went on to What's Your Excuse, which is about choosing an excuse for success or an excuse for failure and encouraging people to choose their excuse for success. Then I wrote What's Next? And that is the book I'm the most excited about right now. What's Next is helping people to leave the corporate world, start their business, grow their business, get excited about the world. I use that for business people and students. Then I wrote a book called Seasoned, which is about my husband who hits bears in the nose, but it was Jesus who took him out. He died and came back to life while hanging a crucifix. So that's a great story. And then during the
Wow.
pandemic, I wrote Quiet Leadership. And right now, I am just about ready to publish a book called Begin, Become, Believe, a leadership journey for teens. And that is a collaboration. Again, all these cool people that I've met sent in a chapter to talk about leadership and to help teens figure out how they can help us fix the world. So that's a brief overview of all these big words.
That is, congratulations. You're a prolific author and just great books, really great books. So, again, anyone's wanting to pick up any of these titles, where can they go? Is it Amazon or where else? Maybe your website.
Yes. Yeah, Amazon is great, or go to campuscreekteams.com. Everything is listed there. Amazon's the easiest.
And so let's next talk about next. And I know it sounds very repetitive, but tell us about next, what that's about.
When my daughter was getting ready to graduate from high school, I had one daughter and I was very focused on her. I had a couple businesses, but I was super focused on her. And I thought, my whole world is going to collapse. What will I do? Who will I be after this? And we bought a little piece of land in Alaska and we were going to build a cabin on it. And I realized at that point that you always have to have that next to focus on. And so I had this next to focus on. Sure, she's going to go to college, but we're going to have this really incredible space. And so it'll be okay. I have something else to focus on. But next, so it's having something to look forward to all the time, having a goal that you're working towards. But next is also challenging yourself. Where is the next place you're going on vacation? What's the next thing you're trying to learn? Do you want to stay in the job you're in, or is it time for you to go on to your next? So, next gets to mean a lot of things, but mostly it is what is next for you? Don't sit on the couch and watch TV and think about somebody else living their dreams. Get out there and live your dream. What's next for you?
I just love that because that sort of forward thinking and having those goals and dreams and things that excite you and things to live for, even when any of us are in a slump, focusing on what is next and getting excited about it. Is there no better way, right? That's the best way to move forward and to get your enthusiasm for life back. I love it. There's books like there. It's funny because there's also the book, right? The Power of Now, which is everyone just stop and think about the moment you're in because people don't do that enough. And then I love that this concept of next is looking forward because truly, I think too many people live in the past. And so getting out of the past and like thinking of the future and also being conscious of the now, these are all so powerful. And I love that so how do you incorporate that into what you're doing? So is this just going to be a book? Or is this a movement? Tell us what is next for next.
Yeah, it's a great question. So I wrote the book because my team building business and my consulting business was so successful. People would call and say, I want to pick your brain on how to leave the corporate world and how to start a business. So I wrote the book for that purpose, thinking I'll just hand it to them, it'll save me time. But instead, it became a movement. And so they work congruently. I use what's next with teams. We talk about goal setting and what they're trying to achieve and what they need to learn. But then right beside that, I am always trying to live my next and encourage people to live their next. So I do speaking engagements around it. And here's a really cool thing that's happening right now. I went to a writers conference in the spring and met a whole bunch of really cool people, including a travel blogger and somebody who really understands the travel world. And she fell in love with the book, What's Next? And she called and said, I want to put together a retreat. Are you interested? And so we're doing a retreat in October for people who want to come to Portugal with us and think about their next and just spend time immersed in living in a new place, thinking new thoughts with new people and develop their next. And so that's my next, helping other people figure theirs out.
You're being super generous because you're actually offering listeners of this show a free signed copy of your book, What's Next, when they send you an email. And we will have all that information at podcastguestgift.com, where we have our vault, our repository of all the great gifts that our guests so generously offer to listeners. So podcastguestgift.com. You can also, of course, find Karen at her website, which is canvascreek.com. So give us some parting words, Karen. Like, what are you going to say to somebody who is listening, who is maybe stuck in some way, maybe stuck at work with a job that's not fulfilling the soul, maybe just stuck with a project, maybe already launched a business and is not feeling that it's going where it should go. And maybe they need a little encouragement to be more motivated and inspired by what is next to come. So what would you say to someone in any of those positions?
Yeah, there's so much around that. So there's a couple of things I want to say. The first one is that you deserve your next. And often we forget that. We get so busy just doing the work that we forget that we deserve more. And the second one is that there is somebody right now who is praying for the solution that you offer. Whether you already have the business or you're thinking about starting the business, there's somebody who's waiting for you right now. That's how you got the idea. And so you deserve your next, and they deserve it too. So go and do this for the world. There's somebody who's going to say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you started this. And when they say that, your heart is going to be just soar, and that will be all the greatness that you need.
Karen, I can't wait to see what's next for you, what's next for me, what's next for all of us listeners, everybody here. And with that, I just wanted to say thank you so much for sharing what you are with us, everything that you offer in your books and your coaching. We can find you on the TEDx Speaker reels. Like, you're amazing. Thank you for all that you do and for spending your time with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. And your style is wonderful.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast, and if you leave a review on iTunes, I promise I will read every single review. If you know someone who makes a full-time living from part-time work, and maybe this is you, please visit lifestylesolopreneur.com to nominate a guest or to nominate yourself. Because remember this, money doesn't buy happiness. But money in the hands of a happy person, there is no greater tool.
Today's episode was brought to you by the Get Shift Done program. It's a lifestyle-changing online class to help you define your business and lifestyle ambitions and to set goals in a way you've never experienced before. This class will 10x your daily productivity with methods that will blow your mind. And if you use the coupon code podcast, the class tuition is 99% off. Visit GetShiftDone.com to enroll today.